So hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss a new chapter which is present in our syllabus, class 9 syllabus. So we are going to discuss plant tissue. This is the chapter of English medium. So what is plant tissue? We are going to discuss. In this tissue chapter, tissue has been divided into two types, animal tissue and plant tissue, like same as plant cells and animal cells. So we have read the difference between plant cells and animal cells in the last chapter. But today we are going to discuss about the difference between plant tissues and animal tissues, but there is only plant tissue present in our syllabus. So as our exams are near, some of your exams have started, I think. So that's why I decided to make this video. And let's just give a quick recap or revision, you can say, on the chapter plant tissue. So let's start our video. Now, the first and the foremost part is, as I've told that from the last chapter, we have discussed that what are organisms made up of. Organisms are made up of cells. So there are two types of cells, unicellular and multicellular. And the basis of cell structure, you can also define that two types of organisms, eukaryotic organisms or eukaryotic cells or prokaryotic cells. So let's just jump into the plant tissue matter. So here is our first topic, which is meristematic tissue. Now, let me show you the diagram which is given in the NCERT. Here we go. See, first is in the case of plant tissue 6.2.1, meristematic tissue is there. So in case of meristematic tissue, first there is three types of meristematic tissue in the diagram. You can see, see three types of. See, first is apical meristem. Second one is the intercalary meristem. Third one is lateral meristem. Now, let me first tell you that let's not focus on the book. First, listen to me that in the meristematic tissue, first of all, the first characteristics of meristematic tissue is they are living. So, by the term living, you can identify that cell division is there, right? Yeah. So, as the cell division is there, then the growth will be there, isn't it? So as the growth will be there, then this meristematic tissue would be present in such a region of a plant where the growth take place. For example, the typical region of a shoot system, that type of meristematic tissue where in the tip region of a plant is present in the shoot system I'm talking about. In the shoot system, in the tip of a plant, that types of meristematic tissues are called as termed as apical meristem. It is very easy to remember, isn't it? See, I didn't need the help of the book to discuss it because it's very easy and we're doing a revision. So in the case of revision, everyone should make it crystal clear. Otherwise, in the examination hall, there will be no living organism present to help you out. So next is intercalary meristem. I think it's discussed in NCERT. Yeah, right. See, same thing I have discussed. Apical meristem is present at the growing tips of the stems and roots and the increasing length of the stem and the root. It is also present in the tip region of a stem and in the tip region of a root, means shoot system and root system. As I was just talking about the shoot system, I didn't discuss the root part. So now the intercalary meristem seen in some of the plants located near the node. See in the diagram, let me explain. Leave the book part. You know what is internode and node? You guys know what is internode and nodes. So this part is known as internode. You guys know that. And see here it is explained. This is intercalary meristem. Now in the node part. In the node part, the intercalary meristem is present, but remember, not in every case of plants, it is present in the nodes. but in some of the plants it is present in the nodes. In the NCERT also it is written. Now, first of all, see, here it is written cells of meristematic tissue are very active. I have told as cell division is present, they have a dense cytoplasm. These are the characteristics. It can come in examination hall as in the middle of a line, in the middle of this chapter, a word can come and you have to explain it. So read the book thoroughly. I would say no need of those supplementary books, because NCERT is followed by CBSE. CBSE only follows NCERT, not blah blah those supplementary books. I don't want to name it, but you have to follow NCERT, because NCERT in each and everything, in job interviews, in NET exam, NCERT has been followed. So see, meristematic tissues are very active because cell division is present. No need to memorize, just think about the concept, think about the logics I am explaining, right? So they have a dense cytoplasm. Dense cytoplasm means, suppose if this is a cytoplasm, this is the cell, this is the nucleus, these are cell organelles, some ribosomes, sorry, not ribosomes, cell organelles, this is vacuole. So suppose for example, this is plastid, consider it as a plastid. So the cytoplasm is very dense, like it's very dense. For example, you eat soup, chicken soup, we all eat. So the chicken soup is really dense, denser than the water. So same as you consider this meristematic cytoplasm, meristematic cell cytoplasm, considered as a chicken soup. Those chicken particles, those carrots are cell organelles, and those chicken big parts are nucleus, and the dense part is our dense cytoplasm. Now, this is the easiest example I could consider it on this topic. Now next, they have a thin cellulose wall. Cellulose walls means cell walls. They have a thin cell walls. We know cell walls are made up of cellulose. So they have a thin cell wall, doesn't not thick. If the cell is like this, a thin one, the thin one, not like this is a cell, this is very thick, like thick one, this is a thin one. So and prominent nucleus, they have a prominent nucleus. They lack vacuoles. Can you think why they would lack vacuoles? Now see, listen, this question is very, very important, even though I have noticed it a million times and I forgot to tell you guys. When I was reading NCERT yesterday only, I noticed it, and I recall that whenever I'm going to teach NCERT in my YouTube classes, I will tell them that this is an important question. And I almost forgot about it, but my eyes got this. So see, here the question is the lack vacuoles. Why? In the cell chapter, you have discussed as the cell divides very quickly. Like in the meristematic cells, they are written this is very active. So very active, they mean that it divides very fast, very quickly. So as it divides very quickly, the cell organelles will also divide. You have seen a cell without cell organelles, it is not present. So cell organelles will have to be divided. So as the cell, all the cell organisms are nucleoplasm, our cell wall, cell membrane, plasma membranes, all the things have to divide. So same as they divide very rapidly, they lack vacuoles. Make this concept clear. Otherwise, it's gonna cause a real big blunder in the examination hall, because these types of conceptual questions can come. This is not history that the dates will come. This is not geography that the our latitude, longitude will come. The how many degree, how many minutes there. It is not geography like that. And this is not our series also that short notes will become. So this is biology. Read it as a biology. Now next, our topic is permanent tissue. Now there is a lot of things to tell about permanent tissue. I know meristematic tissue is a bit short, but in the middle of a word, it can come in the examination hall in NCERT. Na? This thing will come. That meristematic tissue have a thin cell wall, true or false, or fill in the blanks will come. MCQ will come. MCQ is the most what do you say, appropriate or most used type of objective questions in the class 9, 10, because maximum question answers will come, but fill in the blanks, true false are nowadays not that used. MCQ is the most important thing because MCQ has options and options confuse us. It leaves us in a room of perplexity, nothing else. Now, let's get back to the topic. It's permanent tissue. First is simple permanent tissue. Let me tell you, permanent tissue is divided into two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Under simple permanent tissue, these topics are there, and under complex permanent tissue, xylem phloem is there. Now, if you have forget the function of xylem and phloem, let me tell you again. Phloem, you're using the word F, then it transfers food. Then what is left? Xylem. And what is left? Water. Then xylem transports water and minerals. This is a simple trick I have used to remember. But when I was reading the chapter first time in my life, tissue chapter, it was really hard and a big deal for me to understand, to remember the differential of function of xylem and phloem. Now, in case of simple permanent tissue, parenchyma, sclerenchyma, and sclerenchyma is there. Sclerenchyma, it's pronounced as cholenchyma. I was a bit confused between cholenchyma and chlorenchyma. Let me tell you, don't get confused. Chlorenchyma, CHLORO, chlorine, and chyma, CHYMA. Chlorenchyma is a modified parenchyma, the same like erenchyma, but cholenchyma is not a modified parenchyma. It's a part of simple permanent tissue. It's a type of simple permanent tissue as the permanent parenchyma is there. And sclerenchyma is also a part of simple permanent tissue, a type of simple permanent tissue, and it is dead. Sclerenchyma is the only type of tissue, simple permanent tissue, which is dead. It is not living. Parenchyma and cholenchyma is living. Now, let me tell you, permanent tissue, by the name you can identify permanent tissue doesn't divide, right? But they're living, but they doesn't divide. So now is first is simple permanent tissue. Permanent tissue is divided two types. I have told a million times. Just now I also said. So first is a few layers of cell beneath the epidermis. Epidermis means this is the layer, suppose. Oh, it's mentioned in the diagram. See, this layer, this brown layer is known as epidermis. This outermost layer of a what do you say, a tissue is known as epidermis. The fewer layer cells beneath the epidermis are generally simple permanent tissue. Just beneath our epidermis, that types of tissue, if you find any kind of tissue, they are generally, I'm using the word generally, they're generally simple permanent tissue. Can be the hell's wrong with that? Parenchyma, cholenchyma, and chlorenchyma. Sorry. Okay, sclerenchyma, cholenchyma, parenchyma. Okay. So now first we are going to discuss about the parenchyma. So parenchyma is the most common and simpler permanent tissue. And why I'm using it, the parenchyma, it's parenchyma. So So parenchyma is the most common simple permanent tissue. You know that it consists of relatively unspecialized cell. This word is very important. Unspecialized cell with thin cell walls. Parenchyma has thick cell walls. Thin cell wall. Don't get confused, like I got between parenchyma and parenchyma. Okay. So the parenchyma cells are living cells. I told earlier only parenchyma cells are living cells. I know in the comment section there are millions of comments that there's parenchyma is not parenchyma. Okay, they are usually loosely arranged. That means what? Intercellular spaces are present. Oh God! In the next line only it's written the last spaces between cells, intercellular spaces. In case of parenchyma cells, they are unspecialized cells. They have intercellular space is present, and they consist of thin cell walls. In case of cholenchyma, the corners are thick only. Now let's move on to our next is cholenchyma. Oh, modified parenchymas are left side. See, if a parenchyma consists of chlorophyll, that means it can has the power to do photosynthesis process. It can prepare its own food. That means performs photosynthesis, I told. Then it is called chlorenchyma. Chlorine, from the chlorophyll it comes chlorine. Don't get confused between choline and chlorine. Choline is not a part of Cholenchyma is not a part of parenchyma, but chlorenchyma is a part of parenchyma. As the chlorophyll is present, it can also this type of question can come also in examination hall, because I have seen that chlorenchyma is also called as modified parenchyma. These questions can come. And true false can come. You will write false. Then you say no, chlorenchyma is. You will get confused with the cholenchyma. You say no, cholenchyma is a different type of simple permanent tissue, and parenchyma is a different type of simple permanent tissue. Don't get confused, because I have seen people who have got confused a lot of time between chlorine and choline. Even I do sometimes. Okay, in aquatic plants, large air cavities are present. That means it helps to in buoyancy. This is not physics, but still let me tell you what is buoyancy. Buoyancy is the phenomena or the process which gives upthrust. Upthrust, I'm using this word because this is the pressure. The amount of pressure created by an object is equal to the directly proportional to the object created or displaced the water. Because if this is suppose C, object has been thrown like this. Okay, a stone has been thrown. Then the stone has displaced the water. How much it has displaced? 2 centimeter, 4 centimeter. The same amount of force is directly is directly proportion. This pain is seriously. This pain is sometimes irritates me. That is directly proportional. The amount of water displaced by the object is directly proportional to the amount of force applied by buoyancy. Means it can be 5 centimeter, then it can be 5. It can be suppose what 7 Newton, 8 Newton, anything it can be. And force is measured on Newton. I'm also revising physics also. Okay, next is our parenchyma that is present in aquatic plants. For example, our any lotus example you can say. Now, our sclerenchyma. Yet another type of parenchyma tissue. Permanent tissue is sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, sclerenchyma is left. It is tissue which makes the plant hard and stiff. It is dead. They have been hard and stiff means it is rigid. And we have seen the husk of coconut. Yeah, that is a husk of coconut is an example of sclerenchyma. Don't forget sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is the way I have written G. Pieces of tissue are dead. I have told earlier also they are dead and thickened due to lignin. This question is very, very important. Why sclerenchyma? Our sclerenchyma borders are sclerenchyma's cell walls. The cells of sclerenchyma, why their cell wall is thick? Why the cell walls of sclerenchyma are thick? Due to the presence of lignin. This lignin has been an important factor in class 9 cell chapter. This lignin in the cell wall, it is present. It has been a topic also, subtopic as in class 11 book. So there I have seen this. So in a sclerenchyma, in the parenchyma, there is intercellular space present, but in the sclerenchyma, there is no intercellular space present. There is a difference between parenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now, let's move on to our xylem phloem. It is not defined in the NCERT complex. Yeah, here it is. I was trying to find it. So, complex permanent tissue is 2 types. We know xylem and phloem. Phloem is also divided into 4 types. That is sieve plate, sieve tube, phloem, parenchyma, companion cells. Or sieve plate has another name also. I forgot. Sieve plate, sorry. Sieve plate, sieve tube, phloem, parenchyma, companion cells also. Now in the our and phloem vessels also there. No, in xylem vessels there. Sorry. Xylem has also 4 types. That is Tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers. You can define sieve plate as phloem, sieve plate, sieve tube, phloem parenchyma, companion cells, which phloem fibers. Yeah, I almost forgot this term. You can define this as a phloem fibers. You can also say phloem fibers also. Now, phloem has a, now let's discuss phloem and xylem a little bit deeper. Now, xylem consists of tracheids, vessels, xylem, parenchyma, xylem fibers. Tracheids and vessels are thick walls. Tracheids and vessels only have thick cell walls. Walls means they are talking about the cell walls. And many of our dead cells when mature. When they are young means when they are born, when the cell division is after the cell division, they are not dead. They are living. But when they get mature, when the cells get mature, they are dead. Remember this term. And tracheids and vessels are tube-like structure are known as tubular structures. And this allows them to transport water as the tube-like structure like this. Then it helps them to transport water and minerals with it. Just it defined like this, diagram is like this, and it helps to define it. And this allows them to transport the same thing it is written, where vertically it permanently stores food. Now, one thing I was going to tell them was very important, that xylem is transports water and minerals, and xylem transportation is known as unidirectional. Now, while uni means one, directional means means it transports one direction, means from roots to the kitchen of the plant, means leaves. But phloem transports multi-directional, as the phloem transports what? Food. It takes from food from the leaves and transport to all parts of the plant. That means what? It transports multi-directional, not unidirectional. This question is very, very important. This term is very, very important, as phloem transports multi-directional and xylem transports unidirectional. Now, let's come to jump in the phloem part. Phloem has also 5 types of cells. Generally, they are known as 4 types. I have discussed now phloem fibers, phloem parenchyma, companion cells, and sieve tubes. Sieve cells are unrated, not unrated. There are just forget it. Okay, sieve cells are not that important. Only 4 components are only remembered: sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers. I have written also phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. The sieve tubes and tubular cells are with perforated walls. Perforated walls means the walls which gives them support. Okay, phloem transports food from leaves to other parts of the plant. See, I told you it is multi-directional. Now this is the diagram. Now complex permanent tissue, we were reading that. You need breathe. Oh, the animal tissue thing. Okay. So this was the diagram. Till the diagram also. See, this is companion cell. This part is phloem cell. This part, this part. And sieve tube is this. This tube is called sieve tube. And these plates, opening and closing part, these plates are present, which you can tell works as a friction also in water. Can tell. Sieve plates actually defined in more specifically in the class 11 book. I have a planning though, but to give some points on class 9 tissue regarding class 11, but not really, not in the mood of it. Now see, in the tracheid, this is tracheid. These are structures tracheid. This diagram just discussing for your conceptual clearance. These are pits. These fins like structures of a fish. These are pits. This is vessels, xylem vessels. This is xylem parenchyma. This is nucleus. This part is cytoplasm. This part cytoplasm. So this is xylem parenchyma. This was the diagrams also. These are Koch cells. Remember this Koch cells? Robert Hooke discovered the first cell. Koch cells are dead cells because parenchyma is there. These questions can come. Why Koch cells are dead cells? Because it is rigid, hard, and parenchyma tissue is present. So this was the video. My sweat It's all over my body. So I've given my 100%. You guys also give your 100% on examination hall, so that you guys get, marks is not important, but marks sometimes get you some confidence which any other objects, any other things in the whole world can't get you. So marks are primarily important for your own individual growth or development, you could say. So this was our chapter 6 of NCERT, tissue, mainly plant tissue. So this was our video. If you have enjoyed, please tell me in the comment section, leave a like. I won't be begging for subscribers. Thank you everyone.